Alright, everybody. Lost gear recovery. Operation Noob is about to commence. This is for the people that are just starting out in Valheim. And I mean, under no circumstance are experts exempt from this particular operation. We all lose our gear here and there. So as you might see on the map right here, I have a few skeletons, and you're going to want to make markers all over the place. So the skeleton markers, those are where you die. And over time, you're going to have quite a few of them built up. So you're going to want to kind of erase those here and there so you don't get confused, especially if you die a lot in a particularly difficult area. Right here, we have our hero, Kratos. He has lost his gear in a dungeon, and we are going to go and get it back. So we've progressed all the way up to some of the Bronze Age. And this video is going to be uncut, by the way. You're going to experience everything as it progresses, some of the close calls and everything like that. Now, before I went on this venture, I grabbed my flint axe from, the age before, right? When you're just starting out. So I grabbed whatever weapon I had that was going to be useful to me, but only that weapon. And then I also ate some food. As you can see, I ate some honey and some mushrooms. And while I'm on this journey to recover my body, I am going to try to find some food on the way. Now, I know it's not the best food, but when when the time comes, you gotta eat. So I do that to enhance my stamina and some of my health. Now I'm going to constantly be checking the map here to make sure I'm headed the right direction, and I'm going to avoid conflict as much as I see fit. These recovery operations can be very sensitive depending on what area you're in. So for instance, I'm in the Black Forest. It's a dungeon. I'm going to, try to avoid some of the Black Forest if I can. As you can see, I got a raspberry, and now I'm going to eat it, and that'll boost my stats just enough to make me feel a little bit more comfortable running around and going back into the Black Forest. Certain conflicts are unavoidable, so you just gotta play it well, parry where you can, block where you can, and just fight your best. One star could easily take me down if I wasn't careful, so progress with ease, if that makes sense. Don't go into an area that you're unprepared for, and don't rush into things. I'm gonna mark this copper because it's the first time I've seen it, and I'll probably come back later. Keep an eye out for trolls. If they see you and you're not ready for it, definitely run. If you run fast enough and with enough terrain kind of like slowing their path towards you, you can easily ditch them and get them off your trail. I've avoided all these gray dwarfs because they're just going to cause me to slow down and the troll to catch up. Recharge my stamina and continue running. Grab these blueberries real quick because I might need them. Little risky maneuver, but worth it. Check the map again real quick and continue on. There's going to be several different scenarios that you'll run into when doing body recovery or gear recovery. I mean, say you're not on your home continent where your last bed was made. You're going to have to build a raft, or you might already have a spare ship, and that is probably the best scenario, where you have a spare like carve or something, and then you can sail across, but make sure you're prepared for whatever lies ahead. Do not go in there in a rush. You will just frustrate yourself and have to build multiple craft or weapons or whatnot. And you'll just have more uh, cross and bones on the map. Skeletons do not get along with Grey Dwarfs, so I'm using that to my advantage to distract the skeletons because the Grey Dwarfs were following me. And before I went into this dungeon, sorry. Before I went into this like burial chamber, which is the proper terminology, I made a fire and I needed to get arrested bonus. So please make sure that you always have arrested bonus. I have made that mistake several times. While you are not wearing any gear, arrested bonus can be the difference between life and death because you can get your stamina back faster and your health. And I zoom in a little bit because these are tight spaces, and utilizing the map, even though I'm in a dungeon or a burial chamber, I can still kind of find where I left my body. I lost this body about a couple weeks ago, got a little flustered and left. Uh, and as you can see, I have multiple enemies right here guarding my body. I do a quick grab, take the risk, quick grab it to get my what gear I can pick up because I've already picked up too much stuff on the way. Close the door behind myself to protect myself, and I don't have any durability on a lot of my stuff, so the only actual gear I can wear right now is my helmet, and I'm going to eat some meat that I had in my body and some blueberries, and then I'm going to equip my bronze gear and shield to aid in getting the rest of my body back. I'm going to throw out any unnecessary items so that I don't have any issues picking up the rest of my gear. And I'll wait for a second for my health to pop back up a little bit. Alright, I'm ready to go back in. I can try to grab the rest of my gear real quick. Yep. And I'm going in. Because I got 74 health. That should be a decent amount for me to take on the skeletons that aren't 1-star or 2-star or whatnot. I had a bunch of enemies surround me. I was overwhelmed, and if you just take it easy, kind of take what risks you can afford, you're gonna be fine. Parry this skeleton archer, and I'm home free for a little bit. So I'm gonna go back to a safe area, put on the rest of my gear, and all I got are pants that have any durability left. Now this was a mistake that I had made going into this. I didn't realize that my gear was so damaged before walking in because I had been using a makeshift base that had a low-level workbench. My low-level workbench was unable to repair my clothing. It requires at least a level 2 workbench. So I really kind of screwed myself there by not going back to my level 2 workbench and repairing before venturing out. So make sure your gear is repaired as well. Now I'm just going through, collecting any loot that I want. Because I'm already here, I might as well. I'm not currently overwhelmed by enemies, so that's fine. And I have a decent amount of health. I don't mind leaving arrows behind. There's a bunch of them that you'll get, and I find that the basic arrows are actually quite sufficient for a lot of things. It may take more shots to kill an enemy, but it's not too big of a deal if you're able to kite your enemy away and shoot them from afar here and there. Checking my gear, making sure like my organization is back to par with what I usually do, and I'm just double checking this area to make sure I didn't miss something before I move on again. Now I'm gonna let you guys just enjoy for a little bit, um, while I traverse this little dungeon here, and I'll start speaking again whenever I feel it's necessary. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Here I'm just marking off the dungeon icon that I had put on there. I like to use the hammer looking icon to mark my dungeons or burial chambers or anything like that, just to indicate that there's like a fight in this area. Now I'm gonna make sure that my rested buff is back up to snuff before I, depart this area. As you know, like I said earlier, having that rested buff can be the difference between life and death because of the stamina recharge and the health regen. So I'm back up to 10 minutes. I only had a level 3 resting buff there because it wasn't an actual proper shelter. And now I can take on these skeletons that I left behind. And wouldn't you know it, I found another dungeon. So I figured, why not? Let me take this on, go in, get some more cores, because I'm really lacking cores. That's why I actually was going into the burial chambers anyway, because they're the only part or only place early game that you would be able to get cores from. So now my helmet is no longer available because it is broken. My shirt is broken as well, or tunic. And so now I just have pants. That hurt quite a bit. I need to be more careful. And yep, wouldn't you know it, there's way more enemies in there than I had anticipated. So I gotta hop up here, kind of scurry for my life for a second while I recover some health. Again, that rested buff is saving my life. I've never seen skeletons do this particular thing where they kind of gather around the nearest other skeleton behind the door. But, it's easy enough with the bow to kind of take care of this issue. And the dagger is by far my favorite early game weapon. I'm gonna ignore that. I don't think I'm ready to go in there just yet. I start crouching. Going into these dungeons early on, crouching can also be the difference between, life and death as well. So be sure to crouch where you can. Make sure you keep an eye on your stamina, because if you do not, you will be caught off guard because your stamina will be low and you won't be able to fight. So keep an eye on that. Make sure your auto pickup's on if you're looting actively. Because I play on controller, sometimes I accidentally turn it off when I'm like blocking and rolling. I can see enemies behind this door, and yep, it's a rancid skeleton. These things are vicious, but they're also very slow. So keep an eye on their technique, or on your technique and the way that they move, and you'll be totally fine fighting these things. They are absolutely super slow, so you don't really have to worry about much if you're careful. I have an archer hitting me as well, so I gotta be careful with that. I'm down all the way to 19 health, so I'm taking my time, trying to be extra cautious and destroy this bone pile that will just keep spawning more skeletons. This is the boss map indicator icon or runestone. Again, I gotta put on my auto pickup because I turned it off on accident while playing with the controller because of the specific button combination that you use when you're like blocking or rolling. Alright, so I'm going to zoom out, show you guys how far away the Elder is. And that Elder is the second boss that if you're playing, progressively, the Elder is the second boss that you will need to defeat in order to progress to the next area or next zone or biome, which will be the swamp. Kratos is my character for, beginner stuff and whatnot, and I'll try to highlight any progression that I make with him to ensure that you guys that are following Kratos or just me in general can kind of get a vibe for how I play the game in the early game, or just how to do things in general early game if you have questions or whatnot. Lots and lots of loot. Make sure you get all of the valuable items that you can if you can afford to loot them, because you don't want to go back into a burial chamber again or whatnot just to find loot items so that you can sell to the trader. So if you can afford those, and you can get rid of some other material that you can easily get a hold of, go ahead and do that so that you can get as much rare, or not rare, but items of value as possible to trade with the trader, because the trader is super amazing to have. You're gonna need like almost 1,000 gold just to buy the belt upgrade, which when I find the trader, I will try my best to remember to film myself getting that upgrade, because it's probably one of the most valuable early game upgrades you can give yourself. It gives you an extra carry weight of 100 pounds. So instead of, or 150 actually, 150 pounds. And that's just super helpful, especially when you're carrying like super heavy ores and whatnot back and forth all the time on your ship. So I'm gonna head on home. Now that I've finished that dungeon, I've collected more cores, or not dungeon, burial chamber. Now that was the wrong home. I wanted to go to the closer one because it is nighttime. So this is I'm heading towards my makeshift home where I started this journey. That's where I'm currently doing a lot of my forging and my smelting and my coal operations at the moment. I'm going to ignore that 2-star skeleton because it's a little bit above my pay grade as a low-level Viking, or low gear set Viking, low gear tier maybe, something like that. And I'm going to activate my power of Eikthyr, which enables me to run while using less stamina, run and jump while using less stamina, so that I can run farther, which in turn makes me run faster. I heard a troll back there. Don't want to deal with that, so I'm just going to keep running. Ran right past the shaman, just keep running. I do not want to get stuck in one place at night right now, especially with all of my protective armor out of repair. And I don't know if you've noticed yet, but even my pants are broken now, so I literally have no armor with the exception of my shield. Run right past that guy. And I'm almost home. Doing a little bit of parkour here, just for fun. Ooh, there's a troll. I don't want to fight a troll. I am not ready for a troll. So I'm going to try to skirt around, make sure I keep a healthy distance away in case I run into enemies and have to fight them. Because I am very close to my my home in this area. Sneaking is very beneficial. I'm not even attracting this neck over here. That troll's so close. Look at this 2-star deer. It's so majestic. I'm gonna keep it alive. I don't know how often they spawn or whatnot, but they are rare, very rare to see, so I don't want to kill it. There's no reason for me to do it. I can get other deer, no problem. And I finally made it back. So I'm gonna rest for the night. And I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning. Repair what I can with this level 1 workbench. Repair any of my forged items, such as the bronze sword or bronze axe. And my dagger, of course, which I believe is a copper dagger. Check my gear, see what I have in here. Deposit my old flint axe that I don't need anymore, because I have a bronze axe, and I've recovered all my stuff. Doing a place stacks is, a big time saver nowadays. So I can just stack all my items very quickly from my inventory into a chest with like items. Now I have to go all the way back to my other house. And I have to, repair my armor. Because, what's the point of gear recovery if it's all broken, right? So I've got to go back and get this done. And this is quite the little journey. Like, it's not ideal to be so far away from, one workbench or the other. So I'm going to make sure my stamina's good real quick. And I'm just going to keep on running. My power of Eikthyr is still active for another 40 seconds or so. Practicing a little more parkour so I can improve my jump. I can see my little buildings. I'm so excited to finally be in a more familiar area that I feel safer in, because I'm in the meadows for one, and I have like an established little home over here. So, and that's the whole point of your starter home, is it's supposed to make you feel safe and secure in comparison to your more your more spread apart homes. Obviously you want to feel safe and secure in all of them, but if you're just doing hasty shelters, Your home should be the one where you feel the safest. And that's key, I think. Unfortunately, I'm out of wood. I really want to start this fire so I can get my rested buff back. Checking all my boxes to see if I have anything for it. And I do not. But I'm going to grab this resin here and relight all these torches real quick. Because I do plan on coming back here more often than I was before. Okay, time to repair. Now all my gear's back to snuff. Back up to snuff. I'm gonna grab some of this wood here from my wood pile because I was out of wood. And now I'm gonna go make my fire so I can get my rested buff back. And this area has a much better comfort level, so I'll have a higher, what's it called? A higher rested bonus. Oh man, I thought I waited long enough. I didn't. Oh well. Anyway, super beneficial. I'm actually going to go and light some more fires. I want to make a portal though. And this is definitely going to help me with A, repairing my gear, B, traveling to and from very quickly, and just overall in general, making me feel even more safe and more secure and more able to progress through this realm. Unfortunately, I don't have all the stuff for a portal in this area, so I've got to go back to the other place and where my forge is at, and it has all of the rest of the items I need with the exception of fine wood. So just gathering my honey real quick because you can't build up more than 4 in the capacity of the hives. I'm gonna run into my little tiny home here, check to see if I got any gear in those chests, which come to find out I do not. But it's a nice little tiny home, so enjoy the little side journey. Lighting the torches in here as well, mostly for fun. I don't think I'll be coming in here all the time. But look at this little lounge. It's so nice. I really like it. It's so cool. Do a little quick repair on my hammer, and then I'm basically just back outside, getting ready to go to the other place again. Gonna check on my dock real quick. If you haven't seen this video, actually I'll link all the other areas as well. The starter home one, that's a really long video, and I don't know, it's like 45 minutes. It's very similar to this length, but it's like it's about 10 minutes in or something before I even start building. So I don't know if you guys are interested in that, but I'll link it. I'll link this tiny home. I'll link the dock as well, so that you guys can view those at your leisure. Clearly I want you to watch this whole video first and then move on to the other ones, but just watch YouTube Valheim as you see fit. I'm not gonna force you to do anything you don't want to do, or tell you how to enjoy your own time. So if you've made it this far, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. The watch hours help with my channel eventually, hopefully, becoming a YouTube partner. And subscriptions help a lot too. So if you don't mind subscribing as well, that would be super beneficial. Right now, I'm hurting for both. in order to get a YouTube partnership. So, but that's also up to you if you want to. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want you guys to feel bad for me or anything. This is currently a side hobby for me. Um, it would be cool if I could, pull in some funds or whatnot from YouTube, but I really don't mind. I do this for fun. So just do with that information what you will. I would like to know if you guys have made it this far. Please comment down below and say something that you like about this video. It could be anything. It could be like, what you've learned from watching this video, or maybe a scenario you ran into where you had to recover your gear. If you have a channel, throw a link in the comments. I don't mind. I'll even check it out too, because I'm intrigued by people who also play Valheim and put their stuff out there. Heck, I might even subscribe to you. I've done that to a few people before. Subscribe to channels I didn't know before and whatnot, just because they play Valheim. Because I find it fascinating how diverse people build or people play Valheim. Also, if there's things you don't like about the video, let me know so I can try to, improve my video skills or whatnot. But this video was intended, before you do that, was intended to be uncut and fully accessible for anybody wondering what to do if they ever lost their gear and are, at a geographically separated house, for instance, or home, I mean. So I've gathered enough eyes to make 2 portals, and it requires 20 fine wood and 10 Grey Dwarf eyes to make 1 portal, and of course 2 cores. And so I've gathered 20 eyes and whatever fine wood I had, and then I still have the cores on my person right now. And so I'm going to build a portal here that links to my other my starter area, so I can just jump back and forth and I don't have to like run all the way back just to repair or bring all that gear back or get more gear, or not gear, materials to build a new level 2 workbench. It's just not worth the time. Now if you want to take the time, that's perfectly fine. I enjoy that too sometimes. But for this game, I'm not trying to take any unnecessary time away from you or myself. I still need to beat the 4th world boss on my other game, just for me to progress and give you guys, new materials and new buildings and stuff, which I brought up in my last video. I'll put a link in there for that right here as well. So right now I'm just chopping fine wood, trying to get enough to make 2 portals. So I will need a total of 40 fine wood for this. I'm gonna have to toss some of this extra weight so I can carry more fine wood. So getting rid of the regular wood and any stones as well. The cores are very heavy, so keep that in mind when you're wondering why you weigh so much. If you have any ore on you, take it somewhere else if you don't want to get overburdened all the time with weight. So now I've got over 20 fine wood, I think I can make the first portal now. And before I chop this tree down, I think I realized, like, oh, I'm carrying too much. And I didn't really want to throw anything else away, so nothing significant anyway, as far as weight goes. So I'm gonna go make the portal now while I'm still in this area, and then I will come back, grab the fine wood, or grab more fine wood, and progress towards my other home. Now, if you're a noob, take this with a grain of salt. Your scenario may not be like mine. You may have a different play style. Just enjoy the game how you see fit, man. This game is so fun. And I just play it casually. I mean, I just love it that much. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I've got over 1,000 hours in this game, and I still haven't even came close to the final boss. I have one time with a group of friends, but I was with them, and I've never beat it solo, and never came even close to doing that. So just play the game, enjoy, build, explore. Every game's been different for me. I've created several separate games. Sometimes just because I took a break in between, I would just create a new game just to start fresh. It doesn't bother me. This game's just that entertaining for me. I don't know what it is. It doesn't feel boring. So I'm gonna name this capital F Forge. What's the word for it? Capitalization. The way you type is very important. So if you have a capital letter or number or anything, or symbol if it allows it, it is absolutely essential for you to name your other portal the exact same. So make sure that you take note of, how you normally would label something. If you want it to be number 1, just label it number 1. If you want it to be number 2, just label it number 2. If you want to, have it named something that kind of ties it to its actual purpose, cool. If you want to give it a code name, cool. Just make sure you get the letters correct in the way that they are portrayed, whether they're capitals or lowercase. Alright, so I need one more fine wood tree, and I'm good to go. Build this final portal, and we can finally wrap this video up. I get some extra stamina for you guys, I don't know why, but I don't like leaving tree stumps, so I try to make sure I get rid of those every single time. I don't know if you guys have watched it, but recently on TikTok I've seen some videos of this guy removing stumps, and they're hilarious. He's really good, and it takes him days to remove stumps, and he's not using like heavy equipment or anything. He's just having fun with it. And if I can find his channel, I'll try to, like, his TikTok channel, I'll try to link it. He has a whole stump removal series where he spends, several episodes just removing stumps, and just the way he goes about it it's entertaining enough to keep me watching more stump removal videos, which sounds crazy now that I say it out loud. But yeah, I don't like to leave the stumps in the game. But now I have another reason not to. At first it was just because I didn't like it. But now I don't want to give that stump removal guy any unnecessary extra work. He works hard enough on the stumps here. He pulls out, or gets rid of. Alright, so we're finally back. Back to the starter area. We're going to build our portal. I'm going to put it out front. You know, why not? Put it over by our oak tree. And then here we go. Gonna name it capital F Forge. And wait a second. And it's gonna connect. Perfect. Nothing like a good old fashioned portal. So you can go back and forth with ease. I'm gonna go in here and repair my stuff real quick. And then I think I'm just gonna go back to my other house now and lay down and end the video. So if you guys like this, please like, share, subscribe, comment. I'm gonna repair my little cart here real quick. And let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you like, what you don't like. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I'll catch you guys later. Thank you.